out. Here come former SportsCenter anchor Bob Stevens, esteemed basketball coach Rich Basirico, and Hall of Fame sportswriter Curry Kirkpatrick. And someone's going under the bus.
Hey there, I'm Justin Jarrett, sitting in for Bob Stevens, who is still in an undisclosed location. We don't want his fans bothering him while he's on vacation, so we won't let you know where he is. But I think he's coming back sometime, guys. Not
February.
February. Imagine traveling for the entire month of January. No, I'm honored as always to sit in on Under the Bus along with Rich Basirico and Curry Kirkpatrick. And it's a great time of the year for us as sports fans, fellas. We got a lot going on, and we've got a national champion in football that I don't think any of us thought we would see in our lifetimes. Indiana, after 100 years of futility, the national champs, led by a curmudgeon, a genius curmudgeon, and the corniest quarterback you ever did see.
That's so true.
About the Hoosiers claiming the title on Monday night.
Take it, Curry.
Well, they had a historical season, 16-0, never done before since Yale did it in the 1800s. What? My first throw under, though, I'm going to our boy Curt Cignetti. This guy, his team plays almost a perfect game, wins the national championship, and afterward, he's enraged. He goes off on the referees for hitting his quarterback too hard, hitting him in the head all the time. I say bravo that the referees let him play. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, Fernando got hit so much in the head. I mean, Cignetti was right. I mean, I couldn't believe how they let him play. And the Miami defensive backs looked like PI every play. I mean, it was great. It was great to watch because they really did let him play.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an entertaining game. It was definitely fun to watch. But man, he got hammered. And it's obviously too. I mean, they replayed the guys hitting him in the head after the play's over, and there's no call. They must have decided before the game as officials, like, hey, let's let him play. Let him play. Let's not throw too many flags and let him go after it. But talk about under the bus. Well, first of all, didn't Indiana have the most losses of any college football team in the last?
I believe
years?
Northwestern
in history.
Because they didn't lose.
Oh, that's right. Northwestern surpassed them. That's right.
Yeah.
In defeat.
Yeah. But the turnaround is crazy.
History coming into
he brought all these guys from James Madison, these 2 and 3 stars, and all they turned into terrific players this season. I mean, team TEAM, it really was a team. Everybody contributed, and I mean, you got to hand it to them. It was a cliche, but they really did play like a team. No big stars except Fernando, of course, emerged.
Yeah. But he was a walk-on. Curry, he was going to be a preferred walk-on in Miami. They turned him down. He was going to He was going to Yale to play football. Yale.
Yeah.
And then the number 1 pick in the draft.
Somehow California discovered him, so he went out there to play.
Yes, Curry.
And Fernando got hit so much hard. I thought he was going to go to the hospital. He would have, if he would never have been able to hear the fantastic Hoosier fans. I mean, who outnumbered, by the way, by a lot, Miami's home stadium. The Hoosier fans, they went to the Rose Bowl, they went to the Peach Bowl, just unbelievable. And of course, they adopted the great ABBA anthem of Fernando, and of course they played it at the end of the game. It was great to hear that song. It's a great song, and they finally, started playing after every game, I guess.
But don't you think Miami's
got to go to Vegas?
Don't you think Miami's lack of discipline hurt them? I mean, down the stretch they had a chance to win that. I mean, they were down 6, but in the third and fourth quarter, they had big time penalties against them when they had them stopped on 3rd down, and then somebody did some stupid, ridiculous thing, and they kept the drive alive. I mean, their lack of discipline, which has happened at Miami over and over and over again, really hurt them. And then at the end, no class. I mean, the running back threw a punch at a player after the game was over.
Mark Fletcher. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And Carson Beck didn't shake hands with anybody, just walked off the field. I mean, classless. They need to, the whole program needs to go into the bus for that.
Yeah, I didn't think the Hurricanes handled defeat very well. Beck, Beck just walked straight off. Didn't even take he never took his helmet off. They showed he walked all the way to the dressing room. Fletcher, meanwhile, though, after he tries to punch the Indiana player whose name was Tucker, I think Tyrene Tucker. He went in the locker room. He came back out. Fletcher came back out, and he embraced Fernando.
Yeah. Yeah.
He must have had second thoughts, at least.
Probably. Someone said something to him, one or the other.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
How about?
Speaking of, I was going to say, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But speaking of Carson Beck, did you hear the question? It was before the game. Some reporter asked him, Carson, did you have class yesterday? And he said, "Oh no, I graduated 2 years ago, and these degrees you work on after that, they take more than a year. So yeah, I won't be going to classes next semester." So,
he hasn't gone to class in 2 years.
He said that?
He hasn't gone to class in 2 years.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
a
You
joke.
just enroll him in classes, but he just doesn't go, I guess.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, let's speculate.
Play football for 6 years.
Let's speculate who of his teammates goes to class. Do we know? Do we know?
Not too many.
I gotta do a quick under the bus to Fernando himself because they showed a lot of his mom, Elsa, who is quite an inspiring figure, battles multiple sclerosis. Well, she looks like a movie star. But apparently after Fernando's great run, she said to her, I don't know if this is true, but she said to her husband, "What is he doing? He's a quarterback, not a running back. I'm going to have words for him after the game. Don't run. No running." She said, "No running."
Well, he laid it all on the line for a guy who's
he did it. If he didn't run, they wouldn't be national champions.
That play was so iconic. Yeah, that play is going to become so iconic. Amazing play.
It really was.
Great call by Signetti. I mean, he went for it, and it was terrific finish. Yeah. You want to go to the NFL playoffs, or we really can't do much about under the bus to anybody else? And of course, we've thrown the whole Miami team. So.
Yeah, sure. We can go ahead and knock out the NFL playoffs here. I think we'll get to basketball in the second segment, and then we've got some odds and ends that we can throw into the third segment. But first under the bus, I guess, goes to Bo Nix's ankle. He breaks his ankle in one of the last plays of the game, and now Jarrett Stidham is going to lead the Broncos into battle in the AFC Championship against New England, and that kind of takes some of the air out of the sails.
Yeah, that's who I'm pulling for. I'm pulling for the underdog.
Well, he hasn't thrown a pass in a game in 2 years. That's what.
Yeah, he took one snap this year, but I also heard that he's a guy that Sean Payton. He was the first guy Sean Payton called when he took the job. That he was a veteran guy that he felt like could help him install the offense and help get whatever quarterback they drafted ready. So it sounds like he's at least a guy who's comfortable in the system. And he's been
and the Patriots love him too. They drafted him. The Patriots love him. They drafted him. Yeah, so I was going to ask Rich, on a high school level, have you ever had a star player that got hurt like that, and you had to put a guy in that had to take over the leadership or whatever of the team and had hardly any experience?
Yeah, I never had a player that I lost for the whole year, but I've had players, out for
a big game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We had a kid that started for us this is back in May River days, was a good player, sprained his ankle like in second to last game. The doctor told him he had to be off it for like 10 days or whatever it was. And he kind of drove me nuts for a while because he wanted to, am I going to play in the state championship? Am I going to play in the state championship game? Well, I said, Ricky, we'll wait and see. I did not play him. Someone did step in for him and did a terrific job. I mean, just outstanding. And he hadn't practiced leading up to the state championship game, so I made a decision not to play him. Of course, he was very disappointed in me, but the other kid stepped in and did a wonderful job. So and his ankle wasn't really fully healed. I mean, he was still kind of hobbling around a little bit. But yeah, you know, guys, next guy up. You know, when you practice, you get guys who are. That's why you got to give enough reps to your second group of guys too. You can't just put everything on the first 5. You got to get at least an 8-man rotation and get guys prepared. So if that time comes, because in basketball, it might not even be an injury. It might be somebody in foul trouble.
Yep.
You know, your whole game plan goes out the window because your top scorer or second leading scorer gets 3 fouls. Maybe I don't let them get 3 fouls in the first quarter. After 2, they're out. But you just don't know that the game changes so quickly in basketball because of foul trouble. Every sport has injuries, but what sport has where you get guys in foul trouble? Football, you have a penalty, you still get to play, right?
Yeah.
You can have 3 15-yard penalties against you, still playing. And basketball is a little bit different than that. So to answer your question, Curry, in a roundabout way, yeah, I've been fortunate. My players over the years have been very blessed that not major injuries, but we've had kids step up and do a good job for them.
Yeah.
Well, I think a key thing to this game might be Sean Payton, who I think is one of the great play callers and minds in football, even though he's kind of a naughty personality. But you know, he almost looked. You know, he had a sly look on his face when he announced Nix was gone, and Stiddy, as he calls him, Stidham was gonna say, and he said, "Look out! You know, look, just wait."
Right.
I think I think Peyton's play calling and preparing for a game is as good as anybody in the league, and so I suspect that Denver, you know, which has a great defense as well.
Yes, and they're playing at home, and they play
really
which
well
makes
at
a
home.
difference.
Really well at home, and it's you know, Drake May's first experience with altitude, I assume. So I think it's gonna be a close game.
I do too. I totally agree with you. But throwing people under the bus. How about the officials in the Bills game?
Yeah.
When the guy catches the pass,
the
hits
play,
the ground, rolls over, and they pull the ball out of his hands. What I am frustrated by, and I'm not a Bills fan, you know, it's just I have some good friends who are Bills fans, but why don't they go to the monitors?
Like me.
Why don't they go to the monitors all the time throughout the whole game? So they lose a chance to go to the next round of the playoffs, and the head coach loses his job.
Well, McDermott felt the same way you do, and a lot of us Buffalo Bills fans felt the same way. They, as you say, they go to the monitor practically on every play. They said that New York quickly looked at it and determined that it was an interception, but that's, you know.
How is that an interception?
Well, I will play devil's advocate here.
Okay, please do.
I saw it as an interception. And here's the reason, because we've seen a million reviews now that tell us that when you lay out to make a catch, you have to survive the ground.
Yeah.
Once you hit that ground, you got to keep control of it throughout that. And if you lose control and it touches the ground, then it's not a catch.
Then it should be an incomplete pass then.
No, but the replay, I felt the same way you did, Justin.
It came loose.
It never hit the ground. The ball never hit the ground. That was the key.
The catch just because he had it in his hands and his knee was down. That doesn't constitute a catch.
Right.
You have to survive the impact of the ground. And so when that ball jostled loose and the Denver player took it away, and I was rooting for Buffalo, but I just the way I understand the catch at this point, I thought it was an interception.
See, I've always hated that rule anyway. I mean, when you guys, were we growing up watching pro football, there was never this on the ground thing. And what is a catch? When the guy
it looked like a catch, it was a catch.
Oh, and it's out of bounds, and you survive the ground and all that. It's a terrible rule, first of all. But I agree with you, Justin. I think, you know, as I saw it over and over, I said the ball never hit the ground. They got to give it to Buffalo.
Yeah, but wasn't he okay? So he caught the pass, hit the ground. The guy made contact with him, so the play's over. He rolled over. He literally rolled over, and the guy took it out of his hands.
Yeah, he did roll over, but I don't know. I tell you, all the stuff that's gone on since then. We're doing this on a Thursday. It seems like this was forever ago, but almost all the stuff since then has brought up the presser from hell. from the Buffalo owner, Terry Pegula, who had to explain how and why he fired McDermott. And he basically explained, he had this presser with the GM who he promoted at the same time he fired McDermott, the GM, Brandon Beane. And they had to explain why he fired him. And he basically admitted that it was because of the game. He saw the disappointment in the locker room. He saw Josh Allen crying. Saw a couple of Deion Dawkins. A lot of them were crying. Well, and he said he said Pegula said the first thing he said to Josh Allen after the game, who didn't even acknowledge him. He was so disappointed, but he said that was a catch. He said that to Allen. Well, okay, if that's the catch, if it's disputed, you're going to fire the guy because they called it the other way. Yeah. I mean, it was a bad firing, I think, really bad. And they're going to.
A lot of players are upset. Did you see a petition went around that the fans are asking him to bring him back? They want to bring him back.
You know, it's funny because he was kind of on the hot seat a couple of years ago when all that reporting came out about how difficult he was to work for and all that stuff. And it felt like he was kind of on the hot seat, but then he got himself off of it. And now now everybody seems to be backing him now that he's fired. So I don't think he's going to stay out of work for long.
No,
there's a lot of openings out there right now, and not everybody. I mean, your Giants already got Harbaugh. So there's only so many people left to hire, and I think he's going to get.
And the Ravens got Harbaugh's replacement this afternoon. What's his name? Mentor, who nobody's ever heard of him except inside football guys. The only people know this guy. But I think, going back to the Buffalo situation, Pegula, Pegula also owns the Buffalo Sabres, the hockey team, which is one of the worst teams in professional sports. So we know, and his daughter, he's better known actually for his daughter, Jessica, who's a big time tennis player.
There's a Hilton Head Island connection there, by the way.
There's Jessica. What's that?
One time, at least, the Pegulas had a home on the island, and Jessica trained here for years.
Well, yeah, she reached the final of the Open just last year, lost to Sabalenka. In the other majors, she's only been to the quarterfinals the whole time. So kind of a family of losers.
Well, Curry, do you like the idea that he fired him? Curry, you're a Bills fan. Do you like the idea they got fired?
No, I said no. I said it's totally, it's ridiculous. Speaking of coming back, though, the first person they've interviewed apparently is Brian Daboll.
I know.
Who's the former offensive guy who molded. Well, but Daboll's claim to fame is he molded Josh Allen at Buffalo in the early years. And, they might bring him back. He's like one of the hot candidates to come back and coach Buffalo. Of course, he went to the Giants and became a total failure, as everybody does.
So why?
Well, everybody
you fire a guy that's had success, you could bring back a guy that's had a losing record? I don't get that.
It makes sense. Mike Tomlin's sitting out there. Maybe I could entice him to go to Buffalo.
Well, apparently,
it's not a great selling point for the job, though, when you fire the guy who's had it rolling for the last 9 years.
Well, apparently, the story goes that late in the season, McDermott went to Pegula, had a meeting with Pegula and Beane, the GM, and said he didn't think they had the team to compete for the Super Bowl, and they didn't like that. And Beane apparently watches the games with Pegula in the suite, and he's become his guy. And there was a battle for control, and McDermott lost that, obviously. But the GM, certainly McDermott has done his job much better than the GM has done his job.
Absolutely.
I mean, they pointed out that of his last 56 draft choices, only 2 have become stars.
Wow.
And he screwed up the James Cook signing in the preseason. He also infamously, apparently, when everybody, all Bills fans complain about their receiver core, that they haven't done anything about drafting receiver. And of course, Keon Coleman came up, and they had a big thing in the presser where the owner, talk about throwing under the bus, he threw McDermott and the coaches under the bus for drafting Keon Coleman when Beane did not want to do that. I mean, how does Keon Coleman, who's still on the team, come back to play now after he knows the owner and the GM don't like him. I mean, it was just such a terrible press conference. And apparently, some radio guys in Buffalo criticized the Bills not drafting a receiver in the offseason, and Pagula went publicly off against. I mean, Brandon Beane went publicly off against them, and the public, the fan base, really has gotten down on Beane even before this happened. I mean, they deny it, but obviously it was a power play between the coach and GM.
Yeah, of course, absolutely, that's what it was.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, I'm reminded. I remember this on Hard Knocks. Let's talk about Pagula now. On Hard Knocks a couple years ago, Pagula and Beane were at practice, and Pagula says, "Who's number 44?" Did he change positions? And Beane had to inform him very quickly that 44 was a second-year linebacker, second-year Buffalo Joe Andreessen, who'd become a fan favorite. He was from Buffalo. And Pagula doesn't even know who he is? Come on. I mean, does that tell you whatever you want to know?
That tells you something right there. For
billionaires
sure.
and their toys. Well, any other NFL under the buses?
Yeah, I have two. How about CJ Stroud? How did he do? 4 interceptions.
CJ standing for completely jittery. I mean, because that's what he was.
That was awful.
4 interceptions first half and out. I thought, Rich, okay, you're the coach. I thought for sure they were going to bench CJ at the half, and Davis Mills, who had 3 wins during the season on their winning streak. I mean, I couldn't, and the coach said, well, he came out and he did pretty well in the second half. Not really. Not really.
I mean, he did better than the first half, but that's not saying a whole lot. You know, I would have made the change. This is a playoff game. This is not like, okay, if we happen to lose this game, we got next weekend. This is it's you win or you lose, you don't advance. And if your guy's not doing it, what happens in other sports? If your guy's not getting the job done, you pull him out and go, look, this is not your day. We believe in you, but it's not your day. But that's why do you have backup people forward? Just to have them stand around? And Curry, you pointed out, he's won games for the Texans. Give the guy a shot. You can always put CJ back in, right? You can always put him back in if the guy, at least give him a series or two. But that was awful. And the other one was the Bears.
Wait a minute. Let me point out one thing. What has happened? What has happened to CJ Stroud? I mean, he had a great rookie year, and then he's had 2 years of just total mediocrity.
Right.
He's it's a joke, but he is constantly jittery. He was he looked like he was overwhelmed in that game to begin with.
He was. He looked like a high school kid playing in an NFL game. The way
his
he passed
body
the ball.
In the snow in Foxborough, he looked like he wanted, get me out of here.
Right,
is what he was saying.
Exactly. But the Bears, I mean, they have the ball at the 50-yard line, and all you got to do is get about 15 more yards, 20 yards, and they kick a field goal, they win. But Williams is throwing the ball. He wants the home run. He doesn't want the double. He wants the home run. Of course, he throws an interception. But why doesn't Ben Johnson try to? He has 3 timeouts in overtime. Why doesn't he use it? Stop the momentum on the other team. Freeze the kicker.
You also said, why didn't he freeze the kicker?
Freeze the kicker, right? Exactly.
The kicker from Missouri, by the way, the kicker. The thicker kicker. Yeah.
But I mean, what I mean, everybody do that? They freeze it. I mean, does it work a lot? No, it doesn't work a lot. But you got to at least try something. Try something.
Well, Rich, the interception was to end the game was the Caleb Wilson experience, because right before that, he threw one of the great hurling, passes in history of the NFL. Yes. But I got a question for you, Rich. So the Bears score. Mm-hmm. They've got an extra point to tie, or 2 points go for the win.
Right.
They've just destroyed the Rams on that play. Destroyed the Rams. You got the hot quarterback who can run, by the way. Yeah. His mobility is Johnson never calls running plays for this guy.
They should run him. They should have run him. Absolutely.
All the time. He should run so much. But at that point, I was sure watching it, I said they're going to go for 2 and win the game, because the Rams are devastated. Yeah. And what did you guys think?
I agree with you. I mean, when
the conventional wisdom, right, is that.
Well, he played it conservative. The thing about his coaching, as we all know, if you knew what the end result was going to be, coaching would be easy.
Right.
Well,
But I agree with you, Curry. You have the momentum. New England is like they're crushed. They're crushed. They made that pass because they thought the game was over.
LA.
I'm sorry.
Actually, New England was probably watching the game. Actually,
Well, exactly. I'm sorry, but
I'm just kidding. You're right.
You got one play from 3 yards out, right? One play from 3 yards out. Make it work.
The conventional wisdom has always been that you go for it on the road and that you kick it at home, right?
Yeah,
but I do think that was a unique situation where it felt like they had just they felt like a team of destiny in that moment after that crazy play.
Yes.
And it just felt like, LA would be so rattled in that
moment.
Well,
they were. Did you see?
Discombobulated, and you throw your offense out there, then they freak out, and then you run some kind of a rollout, naked bootleg run pass option thing. It seems, hindsight's 2020, but
Johnson,
go for it.
Yeah, Johnson said his 3 and 4 yards plays had not been working well during the game as he's watching it, and he's the coach. But Rich, there were so many things about this, about the choice, about the play, what had just happened. I mean, did you see the Rams on the sideline after that pass?
Yes,
they were out of it.
Right.
I mean. And
they couldn't believe it.
All of us would be too. All of us would be too. Right. I was so certain Johnson's got the reputation of being kind of a gambler, wild guy with a great offense and all these plays he has. And he's got Caleb Wilson going for him, who, I'm not a big fan of his personality, but the guy gets at the end of games, the guy is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
But he also now, so if you kick, you're going to go into overtime. All right. But you're not the better team also. You're not the Rams are the better team.
That's right.
The Rams are the better team. And I got to think Johnson in his head has got to say, I've got the second best team here. I've got to win this game right now with my guy. I can't go another 5.
No, I agree with you. And the thing about it is, you're talking about having plays that not working. They spend so much time, preseason, getting into the season itself. Find the 5 best plays from 3 yards out. Even if you get just your assistants or one assistant to go through all the film and say, okay, this play is going to work. You got to have a play that this is going to work for us. This is a play that I know when we get the ball on the 3 yard line, it's going to work. It's going to have more than one option, and it's going to work for us. Now, is that a guarantee? No, it's not a guarantee. But come on, have some confidence in your ability as a coach that this play is something I know we get 1 shot, 3 yards. I know we got to play in what we do that's going to work for us.
Last year in Detroit, he would have talked Dan Campbell into it.
Well, four of those best 5 plays are probably Wilson running around like a maniac trying to get in the end zone, which he can do.
Right.
I mean,
you're saying Wilson? You mean Williams?
Williams.
Williams. I'm thinking of
Curry,
Wilson.
why didn't they run him more? Seriously, why don't they run him more?
I don't know. I couldn't understand that.
Maybe they're afraid he'll turn out like Robert Griffin and Jaden Daniels if they run him.
Let me ask you about that last pass that was intercepted by LA that Caleb Williams threw. It looked like DJ Moore, his receiver, quit on the play. To me, they kept replaying. They call it. The announcers don't want to say quit about anybody, but the announcers kept saying, "Well, there was miscommunication." Yeah. Well. Did you watch? He stopped. Yes. He stopped playing. He stopped playing. He didn't go over to the right. But that's the breaks of the game. As everybody says about Williams, he's going to give you that spectacular NFL history-making catch, play, and then he's going to throw it away in the overtime. Yeah. So that's another reason why Johnson. If I'm the coach, I'm saying, look, let him run it. Let him. Yeah. Do my plays that I've gotten all season that we've worked on, run this guy over here, do a reverse, and let Caleb take it in himself. That's what the call is. Game over.
Game over. Something.
Just think of the team of destiny you talk about, Justin. If they'd won, if he'd gone for 2-1.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
they'd still be playing.
All right, enough football. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and talk hoops here on Under the Bus, presented by Hudson's Seafood House on the Docks, a great place for seafood, sunsets, and cocktails on Hilton Head Island.
Look out. Here come former SportsCenter anchor Bob.
Click the wrong button for a second there. I'm pulling double duty as producer and host tonight, and just refereeing for Coach Basirico and Curry Kirkpatrick as we take care of business on Under the Bus, throwing some people under the bus. And now we turn our attention to basketball. You guys always have a long list of notes of all the college basketball folks you want to throw under the bus, and we have some regular occurrences of certain people showing up here. So I will step aside and let Coach cook. Coach, who'd you get mad
I
at?
think Curry should start off with his Tar Heels.
Okay.
For their weekend, last weekend, going out to Stanford in California.
Oh, such a disaster. Such a disaster. I call the ACC now the Atlantic California Conference. But the Tar Heels, all the teams have this road trip where they play Stanford and Cal. Right. And we just, we let the freshman from Stanford, who's Okori, who is a terrific player. Mm-hmm. Not many people know about him, but he grew up in New Hampshire, went to a private school in New Hampshire, and now he's an unbelievable player at Stanford. He beat us just single-handedly. And then Cal, we're up again. We're up like 13, 17, whatever it was. We blew another second half lead. I'm really down on Hubert Davis. Mm-hmm. But they recovered to beat a bad Notre Dame team the other night, so maybe we're back on track. But I want to, Rich. There were so many great quotes from games and post game quotes from coaches this week. Do you want to do another thing after you kill my Tar Heels after you've done that?
No. Well, here's what I want to throw under the bus: is end of the game, when it's a one point game, 2 point game, and coaches don't call a timeout. We've talked about this before. Leave it up to their point guard, their shooter, whatever. And there's no set plays. It's just him standing out at the top of the key, handling the ball, letting the clock run down, and then doing his own thing. Like, can anybody just run a play at the end of the game? Like, you must have some sets that you can run to try to score. But to leave one guy out there by himself, occasionally they'll have a high screen for him, but sometimes there's no screens, and he's just out there dribbling the ball around 10, 9, 8, and then you say, okay, he's got to make a move here sooner or later, and then he goes up and takes the off-balance three-pointer. Like, that's the best shot you can get?
Fall-away jumper from 19.
It blows my mind. I don't understand it. I really don't. Even at our level, even at the high school level, we had a play at the end of the game called Carolina, which we had options off it, and you ran it 8 seconds ago. We're running the play. Yeah. We practice it every day at the end of practice.
Since it's no secret anymore, what is the play? What was the play?
Well, we had a high screen, a guy coming off a high screen, had a guy in the block and two of our best shooters in the corners or spotting up, and you penetrate off that screen. You have a kickback to the guy who set the screen. He opens up. You can kick it back to him, penetrate to the basket if you can get there. The guy in the block defending will probably more than likely, if you beat your guy off the dribble, will step out. You got to bounce pass to the guy at the post. And if they pinch, the guys playing the wings pinch, you kick it.
Yeah.
Right? You kick it to that guy for a jump shot. If you can beat the guy off the screen coming off, then you have the advantage. It's either bounce, post, kick, or kick back to the guy that set the screen. More than one option. What they're doing is, okay, Justin, you're our best player. Do your thing. Yeah. Do whatever you can do to get open and take a shot.
Yeah, just ISO. It's crazy. They used to draw a play up on the whiteboard and then see what the
I know,
defense
but you
did and then call
got to
timeout
practice
and
it first.
redraw
You
it.
can't just draw it up that day, and you got to be practiced. You practice end of game situations, offensively and defensively.
Yeah,
You know,
and
we
then
had a
you draw
3D
it up in
defense
their
where you
mind
have to
and all
defend
that.
against the 3-point shot. What are they? And those guys practice all the time. I mean, like, what are they doing on the end? And you must work on end of game situations. It doesn't sure look. Obviously, they do, but it sure doesn't look like it.
Same with free throws, though, which
Yeah.
obviously, surely they do, but do they? Like, do they work on free throws? Because they don't make them.
That's another thing. Carolina can't shoot free throws. I mean, we lost the California game
because of free
free
throws.
throws.
That's unacceptable.
I want to throw under the bus all these disgruntled coaches that I'm tired of hearing them and kill their players. Although I do love it as a journalist, as a writer, I'd be loving this. Let me start with Mick Cronin, our favorite, Rich, from UCLA. UCLA. They lost the other night at Ohio State by 12. They're on the road. And Mick Cronin said, our defense is an embarrassment. I don't have anybody interested in rising to the challenge. He said, blame me. I recruited these guys. I signed them as free agents. I can't trade them. I can't trade any of these guys. This is a college team. And he's bitching and moaning about it. He's wonderful. So then they come home and they upset Purdue. The other night, they upset Purdue by 2, and he's not satisfied. He's not satisfied, Cronin. He wants to kill the Big Ten for scheduling. And he says, I want to thank the Big Ten. Well, he's kind of right. He says, I want to thank the Big Ten for giving us 5 of our first 7 games on the road. Now we have to come back from the Midwest to Los Angeles on a Saturday night, and they give us Tuesday night. We have to play Purdue, pick to win the league. Right. Thank you, Big Ten. Thank you, Big Ten. They don't schedule us. I mean, give us a break. And he says this league doesn't even care about basketball.
There aren't enough antidepressants in the world.
He's wonderful. Well, how about our other guy, Rich? Bobby Hurley at Arizona State.
Yeah.
So he loses the other night at home to West Virginia, but they lead 13.5. They've lost 7 of the last 8. They're like 4-5 at home. I mean, they can't win at home. And I think it's the last roundup in the desert for him because he says, we failed. I'm failing. I can't get through to this team. We do not play well at home. He said this is a sterile environment. It's called the Desert Financial Arena, by the way, where they play their home games. And he says it's so sterile here, but we don't give the fans a chance for any enthusiasm. We're dreadful. He says nobody on my team is committed to listening to me. My voice is not working.
Well, what do you think is going to happen going forward now, going for the rest of the season? You think those kids are going to play for him?
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. He's so far out the door.
There had to be times, Coach, when you wanted to say that to me in your office after a game. There had to be times.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, I don't, I read that today, Curry, about Bobby saying all that stuff. I mean, he knows he's on the way out. I get it, but come on now. Yeah. You just let down your team. You get your kids. How are your kids going to play hard for you now? It's not going to happen.
Well, he's always got it.
Cronin cut his down, and they came back and beat Purdue. So who knows?
Yeah. Well,
that's true.
Bobby Hurley's always got a job because Danny will hire him in Connecticut.
Of course,
he doesn't get a job. Yeah. But here's another guy who is not going anywhere. But I love this. Tom Izzo. Did you see this? Yeah. Yeah. They get TV cameras now. They blow out Oregon, but he's upset. TV got him in a huddle. He's upset as his freshman guard, Kerr Tang. The guy's name is Kerr Tang. He said he's yelling at the guy. You couldn't guard my mother. My mother. So then in the presser, this was all time. In the presser, they asked Izzo about his comment about his mother. And Izzo said, by the way, my mother's 99 and a half. And then this sweet little female voice, this reporter, they got the camera on Izzo, but the sweet little female voice comes out of the bag and she says, well, Coach Izzo, does your mom have some game? And Izzo says, no, that's the sad part. She has no game, and he still couldn't beat her. Then he said, then the woman says, well, she started asking, when you make jokes like that, and he's totally serious. It doesn't even break a smile.
Right.
She says, well, when you're cracking jokes like that, he says, no. I was serious as a jaybird. I've never heard that one. I was serious as a jaybird. Well, I hope it makes him angry. He says, I hope it, and it's a P word. I can't use it, but I hope it ticks him off so that he plays better. But some of it just
that on this show.
He said it was stomachable. That's another word Izzo used. Sometimes his play is stomachable, and I haven't had to say that. I had to say that all year. Then he says at the end, he says, so we're all going to fly back to East Lansing, but Tang is going to fly to Appleton. I guess that's in Wisconsin, where's mine? He says, check USA Today tomorrow. We're going to have, he's going to go one-on-one against my mom at the nursing home gym. Yeah. He says, USA Today will have it. We'll see how he does. That's one of the best all time.
That's a classic. That is a classic. That is awesome.
A columnist's dream come true right there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
It was great. Yeah. It was great.
Any other hoopers to throw under the bus? We don't care about the NBA.
Are we talking NBA at all?
Yeah, sure. You got any NBA?
Absolutely. Bronny for the Lakers.
Oh, he came up. That's right. I forgot you were going to bring this up. I know.
He got 2 votes for the All-Star game by players to start. 2 players in the NBA. I'm sure.
I wonder who they could have been.
Well, it's Bronny. It's LeBron. And who's LeBron's best friend in the NBA? Who's his best friend on the Lakers?
Isn't that he's averaging 1.5 points per game? 1.5.
Give me a break.
And he gets 2 votes. What a joke that is.
He also got named name checked in a story a guy did on the Lakers problems. Did you see this? And it starts with the Bus family, who had the Bus family hate each other, and it's breaking up, and Buck getting fired, and Jeannie apparently. It goes back to something Jeannie was saying while they were having all these problems, and one of the things was she was mad at LeBron. Apparently, she considered trading him, and then because she didn't like the way he was reacting to one of the things to them drafting Bronny. She said LeBron wasn't grateful enough for us drafting Bronny. That's great. It's great.
Yeah. Well, he should never have been drafted.
Wasted a draft pick on your kid.
That's right.
So
that's right. They wasted a pick. And then it's embarrassing to the NBA that he got 2 votes. I mean, it's only 2 votes. I get it, but it's embarrassing that it's like a game. It's a joke. It's
the NBA.
Sad.
How about Giannis the other night coming out and he nailed his teammates? They got blown out by somebody. Of course, he wants out of there bad. Right. He denies it, but he'd go play for Brooklyn before he wants to play Milwaukee one more game. I mean, they're awful. They're not going to make the play. But he killed his teammates the other night. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So I mean, the NBA is such a.
Look at the Knicks. The Knicks won that whatever trophy they call it, and then they go 9. They lose 9 out of 11 games. 9 out of 11. Like what?
Well, somebody pointed out that after they won that stupid trophy, they've been coasting. They've been coasting on their laurels and getting beat. That's nice. Well,
they should play. Then of course last night they go out and beat Brooklyn by like 60 or something like that. What does that mean? I mean, I hope they trade for the Greek Freak. I would love to see that.
Well, Rich, I've been saying that I've been predicting that all along.
I know, but Curry, the GM for the Knicks he thinks they're good enough right now. They think they're good enough right now, and they're not.
Yeah, he's wrong. He's wrong.
So,
yeah. All right, we ready to take a quick break?
Sure.
Let's do it. We'll be right back with more here on Under the Bus, presented by Hudson's Seafood House on the Docks. Welcome back to Under the Bus. Justin Jarrett, along with Curry Kirkpatrick and Rich Basirico, and we've talked football and basketball. How about a little baseball? The Dodgers strike again. They signed Kyle Tucker. I got to throw under the bus all the rest of the owners in Major League Baseball, because somebody's got to outbid these guys on one of these players, right? I mean,
are they going to have to put a cap? They're going to have to put a cap on this deal. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we're headed for a lockout, and unfortunately,
that could happen too.
And then a cap after the lockout, because it's ridiculous. I mean, you're right. The Dodgers can pay as much as, they pay $2 more than the highest team. That's all they're saying. Go see what you can get, and we'll pay you, $5 more.
Yeah, the old Price is Right, $1 more than the highest bid. Yeah, crazy stuff. But some people got to spend their money, right? I mean, you got billionaires making money hand over fist and limping around with these pitiful payrolls. Like, I think a salary cap's got to come with a salary floor too, to make some of these guys spend some of the money that they're making, because
and the small
deals and 100 or 81 home games and all that stuff. These guys are making a lot of money.
Well, they absolutely make a lot of money. The small market teams, they have no chance. Like the Cincinnati's and teams like that, they can't compete with the Dodgers or the Yankees or any of those teams like that. But
and the guy they paid all this money to, Kyle Tucker, is that his name?
Yeah.
I mean, he's okay. He's not a superstar,
right?
And by any stretch of the imagination, the Yankees just signed your boy Bellinger, who was on the market. I'm not. Is there a big age difference between Bellinger and Tucker? Because I take Bellinger.
I think Bellinger's a year and a half older than Tucker.
I would take Bellinger before Tucker. I don't know about you, but so
it's close.
That's just an example of these guys. If they go into free agency, they're gonna know. That's why the players love this, because they think they're going to be the next guy, or they can dream that they'll be the next guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Think about the money they're paying these guys. I mean, Bellinger's getting over $30 million a year.
Yeah. Well, he
doesn't hit 300. He hit 29 home runs last year. He batted 270 something.
That's what I'm saying. Tucker got way more than Bellinger, didn't he?
Yes, Tucker did.
So, I don't know.
The money's ridiculous with the
crazy amount of money. It's got to be reined in. But at the same time, I'd rather it go to the millionaires rather than the billionaires. If we're talking about that, at least they're the guys out there playing ball, and entertaining us. The owners, these are just expensive toys for them. So I mean, I want the players to get paid, but I also would like to see, to be able to take my family to a game,
right? Exactly.
Taking out a mortgage, it's crazy to try to get to a game these days. So I think we're coming up on a labor strife. I don't think it's going to be clean this time around. I think there's going to be some needed battles fought on that front.
Justin, you may be blue just because both Bellinger and Tucker are ex-Cubbies.
True,
right?
True. Well, we did sign Alex Bregman.
Oh, I know.
You got to throw the Red Sox under the bus on that one. I mean, they had 2 all-star third basemen at the start of last year, and now they have 0 all-star third basemen. So that was an interesting choice by them. But to shift gears here, Curry, you requested that I pull up. We're going to do a little fashion reporting here.
Speaking of money, yeah.
Here you go.
Well, under the bus goes all our old tennis clothes, because look at this. This is Naomi Osaka in her first round at the Australian. And, she's been a fashion icon already, wearing a bunch of stuff at the French one year. She had this pink ensemble. Even at Wimbledon, she wears Vuitton jewelry. But she came out of this thing with look, it's a white brimmed hat. It's a flowing something length veil that goes down. She has an umbrella, or as they love to call it, a parasol, covering her hat, and her ruffled dress, which is over flared trousers. Vogue magazine quickly called this and explained that this was the beauty and elegance of jellyfish. She wanted to look like a jellyfish, which her daughter Osaka's daughter, Shay, apparently loves jellyfish. So she turns the court into a fashion runway, and she apparently, she verified it. She won her first round match coming from a breakdown in the third. Then she won her second. And she's a terrific player. She's won 4 majors, of course, several years ago. She's on the comeback trail. But now, the designer of this thing was Robert Woon, who, of course, I've never heard of. But he's dressed Beyonce and Lady Gaga. And, I'm just wondering if Naomi is spending more time considering her outfits than working on her game. That's the thing.
Didn't she come to play tennis? I mean, I know she played, but isn't that the purpose of going to the stadium was to play tennis, not be a fashion show?
Well, sometimes you need to serve a look.
They should have made Curry. They should have made her play in that outfit. That would have been nice.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. If you show up wearing something, you got to play in. That should be that should
exactly.
be. But actually, these of course these women, they're not girls anymore. They're women, and if they're going to turn the tennis court into a runway, it's kind of cute and nice to see that. The opening of matches. It's like, boxers are wearing stuff now to the ring. Boxers are wearing, it's become, the whole world has become a fashion show. But, so maybe
well, I've got that stuff.
I got a couple. I want to take the chance to get my, it's another sport, another bus, but I get a chance to throw my Dookies under really badly. Oh, yeah. Their star quarterback, Darian Mensah, at the last second, the last day of wanting to go in the portal, tells Duke he's leaving after he's already signed his 2-year contract, which apparently is worth like $4 million a year, some outrageous. He came out of nowhere. He transferred from Tulane last year, had a great year for Duke. I didn't realize this, but he was second in the country. He threw for almost 4,000 yards. Right. He had 34 touchdown passes. We almost beat Duke. I mean, it was really close. We could have beaten Duke. But apparently, the unkept secret is that he's the guy Miami wants to replace Carson Beck. So that makes all the sense in the world. And what God knows what they're going to pay Mensah. Yeah. But he not only had signed this 2-year contract for Duke, he said a few days, not weeks, days ago that he loved Duke and he was staying and how proud he was to be. And then he leaves. So it leaves the Blue Devils in a lurch because there are no good quarterbacks left, of course. They're all signed. Right. So they're going to go ahead and sue, which they did. It's not like the Washington quarterback a couple weeks ago tried the same thing, and Washington, said, we're going to sue you. And so he coincidentally decided, I think I'll stay. Right. He's staying in Washington. Well, Duke has gone ahead and sued Mensah, who's taken it to, the NCAA tried to declare Mensah ineligible to play. So apparently now it's in court, and a judge decided that Duke can block this guy from transferring until they have a hearing in early February. They're going to have another hearing. I don't know why they need all these hearings, but,
they got to figure this out, because this Wild West stuff is not going to work.
Well, and didn't he get paid money already? I mean, I know it's a 2-year contract, but didn't he get paid already for the first year?
I'm sure.
So I'm going to take my money and run.
But
and then the other one is the Nebraska quarterback, Raiola, announced he was transferring to Oregon, and then Dante Moore decided, you know what, my draft stock just plummeted. Maybe I'll go back to Oregon. So maybe Raiola will try to change his.
But I don't. Can you change now? Is he allowed? I don't know if he can or not.
I don't.
The transfer portal window
change
is over.
Twice? No, you can't change twice in the same year. I don't think. But the story is that now players can screw over their schools, their teams, their coaches, their fan base, just like coaches do. So they just learned it. They're learning from Lane Kiffin. Yeah. I mean, he's the latest. So, Mensah is saying, well, Kiffin did it. I'll do it. I could go somewhere else.
Yeah,
it's happening all the time.
There's no role models on that front anymore. Everybody's in it for every man for himself. Get as much as you can get, and nothing else matters.
I don't know how, as you say, Justin, they've got to change this, but something else here is they've got to change. And let's go back to college basketball.
Yeah.
These guys, pros, are going back to play college. And
Alabama guy.
They've been drafted. The latest guy is this guy, Charles Benianca, who was a 7-footer that played just in 23, went to the Final Four with who? Alabama. And Nate Oates a couple of weeks ago came out and said, "This is terrible. I don't know how these players, if they're professional." And so he welcomed back, because the rule is you can go back. This guy's been in the G League for 3 years.
Right.
He's been playing the G League for 3 years. And now he wants to go back, and Alabama has accepted him back.
And they say he might play on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's insane. How is he eligible?
That's nuts. He's played in the NBA Summer League and the G League, like Curry said, for the last 3 years.
Well, this is also in the course, though.
Get drafted out of high school into minor league baseball, go back and play college baseball after they flame out in minor league.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
All that's going to happen. You watch.
This is this is also a situation where the NCAA is suing Bianca to stop this, and this is in court this week because it's still. I think it's still but as you say, Nate Oates is ready to start this guy, or not starting, but play him on this weekend because I don't think the court has ruled finally against the NCAA. But they've got no power anymore. Obviously,
they have zero power.
Yeah.
Well, Justin, you're right about minor league baseball.
Appeal to a higher authority to make somebody ineligible to play in the NCAA. That's insane on its own.
Well, think about a minor league baseball player who's maybe stuck at single A or maybe double A, and Tennessee comes and goes, "Hey, we'll pay you $1 million. Come on back and play for us."
Yeah.
So
that's what they do. That's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly. And
I mean, you'll see a bunch of guys who top out at AAA and then go back to college and get paid to go throw
to play college baseball,
whatever, 90. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Insanity.
These coaches are showing what hypocrites they are. Is coming out and blasting this, and then seeing the rules change, and wait a minute, we can do this. I can do this. I mean, before we look around, the Duke coach is going to be getting Cooper Flagg back to play a week or so, for.
Come back for March Madness.
Yeah,
come back and play us for March Madness.
Exactly, and try to get us where you didn't get us last year legally. Lastly, let me bring up another basketball. Mark Pope, the Kentucky coach, whose job was probably on the hot seat, I think. But Kentucky this week, in the last couple of weeks, they've beaten LSU after down 18. They've beaten Tennessee after down 17. Right. They beat Texas the other night at home. They've won 4 in a row. They've probably saved his job. But more importantly, I got a question. At the end of the Tennessee Kentucky game, had a free throw that Tennessee missed, and a Tennessee guy grabbed the rebound, and they could have won the game, but he was under the basket. He tried to get out and didn't make it. Game ends. There's pushing and shoving. They came out. Everybody's wants to fight. They had to get on it. So it's right at the end of the game. So both teams, instead of going to the handshake line, which would have been very awkward, they retreated to their locker rooms, forgot about, disobeyed the challenge. The question is, should we have handshake lines anymore, Rich? What's the value of them?
Yeah, I don't. That's a great question. I mean,
would you have loved not to have a handshake line in high school?
You're showing sportsmanship, obviously, but what player, when they lose a game, really wants to give a nice high five to somebody on the opposing team? And on top of that, coaches are pulling kids to the side and saying whatever they're saying. Who knows what they're saying? Hey, we like the way you play. How about come to us next year? You might say, well, that's never going to happen. Who knows? Yeah. You don't know. They give a little hint, just a little hint. Hey, we're going to keep watching you play. Oh, look at that. Look what Coach Pitino said to me. He might be interested in me to come to St. John's. So to answer your question, Curry, I don't know yes, you want to see good sportsmanship, but is that really the way to show it? I don't know if it is or not.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, the losers are hating this handshake line. I know, and there's been occasions where the handshake line, people throwing down. Let's go. Start fights in the handshake line. So
or guys don't even shake hands. They don't even shake hands. They just kind of walk by.
Liable to start a fight,
which makes it worse.
And some of these coaches, even if they're friends, their handshake is just a flyby. It's just a flyby. It's ridiculous. But I just was watching the end of this Kentucky-Tennessee thing, and I was just thinking, how are they going to have the handshake line after this fighting? And sure enough, they both just left, and there was no big deal. They just waved, at each other, and see you later, see you next game. But I wonder if it's worth it.
Maybe they can just wave at each other when the game's over. Just wave at each other.
Isn't that what the NBA does, or do they embrace? No, they kind of embrace, though, don't they? If they're friends.
Yeah,
if they're friends.
All the NBA guys.
Jersey swaps and
jersey swap. I don't get that one either. I just got my fanny kicked in. I'm going to give my jersey to my buddy over here.
Yeah, it's really corny. And now it's trickled down. Now you got high school kids doing jersey swaps.
Oh, is that right? Wow.
Instagram.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that's monkey see, monkey do. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is. Same as it ever was. All right, boys. Any last minute speed bumps? We get it all.
Look forward to this weekend from some good football and basketball.
Yes, sir. Well, thanks so much to Hudson's Seafood House on the Docks for their sponsorship of Under the Bus. Great spot for seafood, sunsets, and cocktails on Hilton Head Island, right on Skull Creek. Beautiful spot. Next time you get down here, you got to hit up Hudson's. We will be back next week. We're getting back to Tuesdays next week, fellas?
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Does that work?
All right, that'll be the plan. We'll see you on Tuesday night. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and we'll see you next time on Under the Bus.
Thanks, guys.